On the 16th of March 2023, in the city of Sofia town, the capital city of Bulgaria, a man named Ivan Jashev, who was the Bulgarian chief prosecutor, was hosting a press conference, along with the country's head of national investigation, his spokeswoman, and also the Sofia town city prosecutor. You see, for the past 6 months leading up to this conference, Jashev and his team had been investigating a criminal organization, which they believe was involved in money laundering and tax crimes in Bulgaria. He called this organization the Bulgarian Mafia. Jashev would allege that during his investigation, he had found evidence that this particular criminal organization was also involved in a scheme which was aimed at replacing Bulgarian police chiefs, and they were also trying to remove him from his position as the country's chief prosecutor. As the press conference went on, Jashev and his team presented to the media letters and recordings from flash drives, which were discovered as part of their investigation. In these recordings, various people are heard discussing ways on how to overthrow Jashev, the payment of over 4 million rands for the replacement of police chiefs, as well as the possible sanctioning of Boyko Borisov, the former prime minister of Bulgaria. Jashev would go on and mention the names, initials, and the nicknames of the individuals who he suspects were part of this organization. Among those mentioned was a Bulgarian businessman named Krasimir Kamen, aka Kuro. Jashev suspected that Krasimir was a very dangerous individual, and he was one of the leaders of the Bulgarian Mafia. He however did not have any concrete evidence of Krasimir's participation in criminal activity at that time, so there were no charges filed by the Bulgarian police against him. A few days after this press conference, on the 27th of March 2023, the Sofia City Prosecutor's Office made an announcement that they were charging Krasimir Kamen with the murder of a former police officer named Lyubomir Ivanov. Ivanov was shot and killed by a cyclist on the 25th of March 2023, 2 days earlier, in the capital's Lazina district. Before his death, Ivanov was suspected of producing and distributing illegal cigarettes, and he was wanted by Interpol. 2 individuals would be arrested for the brutal murder of Ivanov, Krishan Iliyev, and Boyan Tabakov. According to the Bulgarian prosecutor's office, Kamenov was the one who incited these 2 men to go out and assassinate Ivanov. Kamenov was now a wanted man, however there was one problem. He hasn't been in Bulgaria in over 15 years. On the 6th of April 2023, the Bulgarian embassy informed the South African Police Service that they were looking for a Krasimir Kamenov. They said that he was staying in the city of Cape Town, and that he was a wanted man, and needed to be arrested as soon as possible. The Bulgarian embassy further stated that Kamenov was a Bulgarian citizen, however he had been living in South Africa since 2008, illegally, saying that he had traveled using a passport in his own name. The embassy even managed to get an Interpol Red Notice for Kamenov. An Interpol Red Notice is a request to law enforcement worldwide to locate and arrest a person and send them back to their home country. Krasimir Kamenov's Red Notice read that he was wanted in connection with a murder threat, murder, and extortion. It is not clear what the South African Police Service did with this information, however 2 months later, this happened.
Investigations are still underway following the gruesome murder of 4 Bulgarian nationals at a house in Constantia in Cape Town. According to the police, the bodies of 2 men and 2 women were found with gunshot wounds. The motive for the killings is still unclear.
It is sad that a community like Constantia should be faced with an incident like this. It's a relatively quiet neighborhood. They've got 2 security companies here. They've got neighborhood watchers. This place is extremely safeguarded, and for something to happen like this and slip by all that, it's a bit of a concern. However, the residents of Constantia must understand that this is an isolated incident. They shouldn't be concerned too much about their safety.
This is the affluent suburb of Constantia, one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in South Africa. On the 25th of May 2023, at around 8:20 in the morning, 4 dead bodies were discovered by police at number 11, Evergreen Lane. These bodies were of 2 males and 2 females, aged between 40 and 50 years of age, and they all had multiple gunshot wounds. Constantia is situated just 20 minutes away from the Cape Town city center. The area is a major tourist hub. It is one of the oldest towns in the Western Cape, and it is most popular for its massive vineyards, with about 10 wine farms. Constantia is also a very expensive neighborhood, with an average price for a home going for tens of millions of rands. All the houses seemed to have multiple cameras each, and there were also 24-hour patrol cars in the streets. So when the police received a call from the locals about a shooting which had taken place in their relatively safe neighborhood, they were really surprised. As the police investigation went on, they were able to find the identities of the 4 people who they found dead at the house. 54-year-old Krasimir Kamen, his wife Dragana Kamen, and also their housekeeper and their bodyguard. According to the police, they were all Bulgarian citizens. Whilst in South Africa, it is said that the Kamenovs lived a relatively quiet life. Krasimir was alleged to be a businessman, owning garages, parking lots, private homes, and even offices. His wife, on the other hand, was a former Miss Bulgaria and Miss Universe. She was also a jewelry maker and a known baker in the neighborhood. Krasimir and Dragana had 3 young children together. One of the businesses which the Kamenovs were involved in was a jewelry business called the Kamenov Collection. The Kamenov Collection was an online business that sold diamonds, gemstones, and custom-designed jewelry. According to a website relating to Dragana Kamenov's work in the beauty sector, she had a certificate from the Academy of Gemology in relation to practical diamond grading. This jewelry business would be later linked to another couple, also originally from Bulgaria, who were murdered close to where the Kamenovs were killed. Angelo Dimov and his wife Nezabravka Piva were assassinated on the 12th of February, 2018. They were shot in a home they were renting in the Cape Town suburb of Burgvliet, which is about 5 kilometers from Constantia. At the time, Dimov was facing a credit card fraud case at the Belleville Commercial Crimes Court, a case that dates back to 2008. He was suspected of operating with individuals, including a man from Serbia. The South African Police Service alleged Dimov ran a scheme of using duplicate credit cards to make unauthorized withdrawals at ATMs. Dimov and another suspect were arrested in November 2008 in the rural town of Murraysburg, about 90 kilometers from Cape Town. When taken in custody, he was found with several white plastic cards that turned out to be cloned bank cards. The criminal credit card charges against him were at some point provisionally withdrawn, thereby letting him off the hook. However, he was again arrested in 2013 on another fraud case, and then again detained in 2015. The initial card cloning charges were later reinstated. There were also suspicions in the police that Dimov was involved in illegal drugs and diamonds. According to reports, 10 months before he and his wife were murdered, they tried to sell uncut diamonds, worth millions of dollars, in the Middle East. Dimov and Piva's dead bodies were discovered by their 23-year-old son, Georgi, after the couple's 6-year-old daughter was not collected from aftercare at her school in Burgvliet. During a search at their house, police found more than 900 Mandrax tablets, which were hidden in the garden shed. Evidence from CCTV and license plate recognition cameras shows the couple had been to the Virgin Active gym in Constantia on the day they died. At 10:12 a.m., they arrived home in their Audi A4. A half an hour later, Piva drove out alone. Shortly after she left, a white Toyota Camry entered the premises, and at 11:11 a.m., a silver Mercedes-Benz drove up to the electric gate and also went inside. Piva returned at 12:06 p.m., and within minutes, she was lying dead in the yard with a bullet to her forehead. The Toyota left at 12:09 p.m., and the Mercedes drove away 5 minutes later. Only cell phones and laptops were taken by the hitmen. According to reports, Kamenov and Dimov were in the past in business together. It is said that they were once members of a company named Bullseye Solutions 102. Dimov also ran an import and export company that appeared to be named after his wife. According to their neighbors, the Kamenovs were people who usually kept to themselves. They said that you never saw their kids, but often saw Krasimir Kamenov's wife, Dragana, running with their silver pitbull every morning. The neighbors further stated that, every day, cars would be parked from one corner of the street to the other, and men carrying backpacks entered the property. Someone who works in the area would claim that most homes in the neighborhood only had 1 or 2 cameras strategically placed in front of their driveway gates. The Kamenovs' mansion, however, had at least 16 visible cameras facing the street. On the 8th of March 2024, nearly a year after the Kamenovs were murdered, the South African police issued a statement, implying they could be making a breakthrough in their investigation. In the statement, police urged the public to help them in tracing 2 people who they suspect were involved in the shooting. According to reports, 6 suspects were spotted fleeing the scene in a blue Hyundai and a white VW Golf GTI soon after the Kamenovs were shot dead. Later, two people would be seen on CCTV footage under a bridge on the N1, driving a white VW Passat and the same VW Golf GTI from the scene. In one image, a man wearing bright red pants, a white vest, and a black jacket stands frowning outside a white car along the side of a road. He appears to be holding an item in his right hand. In the second image, it appears the same man is interacting with a second man wearing denim jeans and a long-sleeved black shirt. The police believe these two individuals could have the answers on who was behind the murder of the Kamenovs. Meanwhile, all the way in Bulgaria, Ivan Zheshev, the country's chief prosecutor, was having problems of his own. On the 15th of June 2023, a few weeks after the Kamenovs were assassinated, Rumen Radev, the president of Bulgaria, fired Ivan Zheshev from his post as the chief prosecutor of Bulgaria during a live press conference he was having on TV. The Bulgarian president did not specify why Zheshev was let go from his job, but he had been at the center of a ton of controversies. Zheshev, however, would refuse to step down, tearing up his resignation letter on national television a few days later. He would also attack unnamed rivals he had in the Bulgarian parliament, calling them political trash. Zheshev would also say that he was going to finish his mandate and continue the battle for truth and justice in Bulgaria. A few months after the Kamenovs were murdered, there would be reports that they might have been targeted for being part of a huge multi-billion-dollar scam in Bulgaria. It's alleged that Kamenov may have had information about a woman named Ruja Ignatova, who is currently the FBI's most wanted woman. According to reports, Kamenov planned to tell what he knew about Ruja to the CIA investigators in America. Oxford University graduate Ruja Ignatova is wanted for her alleged participation in a large-scale fraud scheme. Beginning in approximately 2014, Ruja and others are alleged to have defrauded billions of dollars from investors all over the world.
It is really a pleasure for me to be here 1.5 years after we launched our cryptocurrency OneCoin. I think today we spoke a lot about the network, the vision for the network, how big we want to be, but as always, I want us to remember what this network is about. This network was created to become and to fuel the growth of OneCoin, which I strongly believe will be the #1 cryptocurrency worldwide.
Ruja was the founder and CEO of OneCoin Ltd, a Bulgarian-based company that marketed a purported cryptocurrency. In order to execute the scheme, Ignatova allegedly made false statements and representations to individuals in order to solicit investments in OneCoin. She allegedly instructed victims to transmit investment funds to OneCoin accounts in order to purchase OneCoin packages. This caused victims to send wire transfers representing these investments. Throughout the scheme, OneCoin is believed to have defrauded victims out of more than $4 billion. Ruja served as OneCoin's top leader up to October 2017. On the 12th of October 2017, she was charged in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, and a federal warrant was issued for her arrest. She was even added on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. As investigators from Germany and the United States closed in on Ruja, on the 25th of October 2017, it's alleged that she took an early morning flight from Sofia to the city of Athens in Greece, never to be seen again. According to reports, it is alleged that Ruja was murdered in November 2018 on a yacht in the Ionian Sea, which lies between Italy, Greece, and Albania. However, these are just rumors, and her death has never been officially confirmed.